Hello, hello, hello. It is great to have you here with us today on Dental Nachos as we talk about another episode of Talking Tech Tips with Terry, Tuesday at 2. It's now 2 o'clock here in the Eastern Time Zone. And just really glad to have you here today because we're going to be covering some exciting things that I know are going to be very helpful to you because, hey, if you're using computers these days, there's a good, strong chance that you're using what we're going to be talking about. You're going to be doing it. So we got some good things lined up here for you that we're going to talk about. And we keep learning all the time. We're following our leader on that, Paul Goodman. He's Dr. Nachos to us affectionately here. And he is a dentisting human himself. That's his term, by the way, dentisting human. Don't you love that? It's great. And we're going to learn all the time, even on those things that we think, okay, I already know that, like something like what we're going to be talking about today. Most people think, well, yeah, but hey, we want you to be able to experience even more. And hey, if you can help, if you have some questions, we'd love to hear from you. You can leave a comment, and then if you've got a question, just leave it there in the comments, and I'll be able to respond to you if you're catching this live. And if you're catching it recorded, well, we haven't figured that technology out yet, how to jump in there in the future. But when we get that time travel thingy cracked, we're going to be on it. Yeah, you bet. That'll be a good thing. But today, we're going to be talking about a lot of things. But first of all, I want to let you know about the Super Dentist Boost that is coming up. You want to text BOOST to 215-543-6454 to watch in live for free. You can do that. That's kind of nice. Free is pretty good. I'm thinking free is in the budget for you, right? Yeah, that's going to be Friday, May the 6th and Saturday, May the 7th. So be sure and do that. Get in there. And I've seen some of the speakers coming in thinking, oh my goodness, these are really good people. And you're going to get a chance to tap into their wisdom and knowledge. And if you are a dentisting human or you're interested in that, you will find that most helpful. So do it. But what we're going to cover today is something that's going to be very important. You're probably already using something that is related to what we're going to be talking about because we're talking about Google, the land of Google, and not just one part of it, but we're going to look at several different parts. Now, we can't do everything. You know, our show is not going to run for 400 hours. No, it won't, but it's going to be going for a while, and we want to hear from you as we cover some of these things, some of the tips and tricks that you might know and that you're using that can help others as well. We would like that. One of the things I found that I'm constantly learning, even though I'm teaching this stuff, and this is what I do for a living regularly, is to show people how to use this, do a lot of coaching and advising, helping in those areas. But I'm learning all the time. And I find that we all learn best when we're learning together. It kind of goes back, reminds me of the Japanese saying that we talk about a lot in Silicon Valley. None of us is as smart as all of us. And so by pulling the knowledge from all of us together, we can do a lot more. And so we're going to cover a lot of these different traits and the features that are there, starting with some of these here that I've looked at. I just got a couple of screenshots here that I want to show you. We can go through and talk about these. In the upper left corner, you'll see the T account. Well, the reason it says T is because Terry, and that's my account there. I'm using the Google Workspace, and I found it can be really good. I need to tap into it a little bit more, and their support could be tweaked a little bit. I found their support a little bit difficult to get through to, and if you don't know the right code, then you can't even get through to the support. So it could be tweaked a little bit there, but the idea, when I have been able to long ago got through, it was very good. And I like that. And of course, the Gmail is very popular. Matter of fact, if you're using Gmail, in the comments, put in a yes. Just yes, I'm using Gmail, or no if you're not using Gmail. And I would be interested in seeing the comments on that, what people are doing with it, how we're using it, and what we're doing with it. And look at those kind of features that are there if you are. I know I'm using a couple of different accounts. and use them for different purposes. And I find that Gmail is pretty easy to use, and one of the really nice things about it is that it has a lot of extra features that plug in. Those plugins are real handy. One that I particularly like is called Boomerang. And Boomerang gives me the ability to take an email, and I can then say, hey, I want to see this one a little bit later. I don't have time right now, but I'll have time at 4 o'clock today, or I'll have time tomorrow morning. And I can just click on that, and it works really well with Gmail. So Gmail is a good place for those kind of things. The Drive is very good, and the Google Drive gives you a place to hold a lot of different items, a lot of assets, your JPEGs, your PNGs, your audio files, your video files, your text files, PDFs, etc. A lot of those can go there. And of course, as you fill it up with more, you'll pay a little bit more for it. But I would say keep those things that are really essential there, that you're going to use every now and then have an external hard drive where you can back up things that you need to keep, but you don't need them all the time there. And just have them standing by. And then the next one to that is Google Docs. Now, Google Docs is pretty amazing. I mean, what it does and the way that it gives you the ability to get a lot of things taken care of very easily, I think is just amazing on what it does and how it does it. And I'm using Google Docs extensively. I think that you'll find that getting a lot of good things with it and using it there. I think there's some features that we can see with Google Docs that are pretty handy. As a matter of fact, let's see, we've got a person here that I know is using technology quite a bit, Bob Pick. And Bob, good to have you with us, sir. Greetings to you up there in Chicagoland. Hope that life is going well for you today. Nice to have you here. And we're going to take a look here at Google Docs. Matter of fact, my computer is working here just the right way with the way I set it up. There we go. The magic of a click on the flicker here. See, I got my little, put it over here, you can see my little clicker, and I just go from one slide to another with that, using Ecamm for, by the way, for presentations and for doing things over Ecamm, or it is Ecamm, but doing them over Zoom or other tools. I'd highly recommend looking into things like this because it's really easy to use. Once you got it set up and you get somebody else to help you get it set up, you're in good shape. But these are documents you'll see that I've got here that we've put together. I'm working on different items, different things. You see, you can put in pictures, you can put in text, etc. Lots of good things there. What I want to do, though, is I'm going to start a new one and let you see a little bit of the features on here. I'm going to click on that, and it gives me a brand new empty document that I can use. And first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my font size up to about 20, well, let's say up 24. The reason is that way you'll be able to see it easier on the computer and be able to see it on the screen. So for instance, I could come in here and I could put this is being typed into Google Docs. No big deal there, right? Not a big deal. There are many features, and we can't go into all of them. We could have a whole series of shows just on Google Docs. But one of the things I find really handy, you might be using this also. Let us know that in the comments if you're using these tools. Particularly if you go up here and you click on Tools, and you'll see there's an option for voice typing. Down here, a little about the middle of that. And you can also get to that by typing a Command-Shift-S if you're using a Mac computer. Command-Shift-S works really well. If you're using a Windows computer, well, I don't know how that one works, but I think it's Control-Shift-S. But check that out. Anyway, watch what happens when I do that. I'm going to click on this right here, voice typing, and you'll see my cursor is still there, and it's got a thing here, click to speak. Watch what happens when I give you a little demonstration of this right now. This is now being put onto my Google Docs, and notice my hands never leave my body here. My hands are over here, but I am able to dictate this and get reasonably accurate transcription by using the Google Voice Typing, period, new paragraph. This is something that can help you to get those thoughts from your head faster into a printed form, period. If you're like me, comma, and I know I sure am, comma, then you'll want to make sure that you have a tool like Google Voice Typing that lets you talk and put information much faster into the computer than you ever could writing it by hand or even typing it on the screen. Now I just pressed the Command-Shift S again, and that turns it off. So now it's not there. But hey, isn't that pretty nice? I mean, when you look at this and you go, hey, pretty handy there, the way it puts it in there. And you can see what's going on. You can see this text. Here, I'll make this just a little bit bigger there. So you can see it's really handy here that you can look at that. You can see it easily. And obviously, this is a little bit bigger than you normally would have it because, hey, that's a good thing to have. So you want to make sure that you know that tool in there. I think it's really, really helpful. And let's see, we got another comment here. I want to bring this one in for sure. Whoops, I can't do that on this screen. Oh, hold on. Well, what I'll have to do is go back to another screen that we had where we can come over here and come back there. There we go. That one probably will work. And let's see. For whatever reason now, no, I think I have to go back to another screen. And that's not working. Oh, well, I'm trying to get the comment from Bob Pink. It's always good to be here. Technology is super coolio awesome. I love that phrase, super coolio awesome. Bob Pink says that a lot, and it's true. Please listen to Terry. Well, thank you very much, Bob. I appreciate that. And you, sir, are super coolio awesome. That's right. And let's see, I use Google voice typing as much as possible. I have a Facebook user saying that, and we appreciate that. Yeah, it's a really great tool to use because it gives you the ability to just get a whole lot more done in a whole lot less time. And I think that's the real benefit of it. I find this something I use a lot, particularly in my work when I'm writing as a journalist or writing other things. I find that sometimes when I'm trying to type, maybe you can relate to this. I'm typing away here and, oh, made a mistake. Hold it. Okay, now I'm going to, oh, I made another mistake. Oh, let me say, oh, if I could just learn how to type. Oh, I'm making so many mistakes. Oops, and I just forgot what I was trying to write down and trying to type. That never happened to you? Boy, it does to me all the time. And so I find what I can do is when I can put it down in a rough format, just get it down from brain to print real fast, it gives me the ability to have more free flow of information and more creativity that way. See, your creativity gets stifled when you're going, oh, I can't type, and your thoughts are on that, on how bad your typing is versus that really good idea you've got. So I'd encourage you to take a look at Google Docs. It's got some really nice features that are built in there and things that you can use and do a lot with that. Now, another feature they have that's real handy is the Google capability for using Google Sheets. And we can take a look at some of those as well. Matter of fact, let me come back here to this screen right here and then actually go over here and to here. There we are. And I'm going to click on the sheets. So you can see here are some Google Sheets. These are sheets that I put together. I mean, you're seeing my actual sheets that I put in there. And I keep track of these using them every day. You'll notice what I've got is the days that are numbered here. There is like viernes, jueves, miércoles, martes, and lunes, etc. Yes, that's in Spanish. So it helps me to learn Spanish a little bit better. I'm stumbling through my Spanish right now, but love using it and want to learn a whole lot more about it. And so I try to do things when I can in Spanish there, and it allows you to do that. And so this has some really, really nice features for keeping track of many, many different things that you can use and that you can put together. Matter of fact, one of the things that I'm using, let me see if I can find that here, that would be really, really good, my editorial calendar. I'm going to click on this, and you're going to get a chance to see this is the actual one that I've got here. You'll see I've got a first half of 2022. Here's what I did earlier this year. Move something out of the way. And you see what I've got is each of the days over here on the left side. Like I like to put it in as the day of the week, comma, the month, the day of the month, comma, and then the year. So I can see that very quickly. And then across the top here, I've got what I wanted to do. I got ideas collected, study, review, etc., produce and do it, notes about this. And then where did I put it? Did I put it into Restream, which I'm using here? Did I put it in my blog, my Facebook, etc., etc.? You'll see all these different platforms that I can use. Put it out there like that, and it works out really well until I run off the screen. But I have comments and notes. Always leave that open. You always want that openness that's there and saying, okay, we can do it whatever it is going to be. I can put that in there. And if I send an email, yes, I've got that. I found I didn't do it as much as now I'm doing a little bit more, and that helps me. If you're producing content, something like this could be very helpful. I know here at Dental Nachos, we're doing that with some of the features that we have in using tools like this. And of course, you customize it to what's right for you. But the spreadsheets I find are really good. Yes, they're good for crunching numbers, but really for organization. for organization and get things together. I encourage you to look into that, see what's available, how you can use it, and the key features that are available in that Google spreadsheet. It is really, really handy and gives you the ability to get a lot more done. And the thing I love about it, because it's Google Docs, I can access it from my laptop, from my iPhone, from my Samsung S22, from most any device that I have, and that's real handy. So then you can share it easily, and not only sharing it for yourself, but with others as well. So other people can get these forms, get the sheets that you're working on, get the docs that you're working on, and all of those can fit together very, very well. Some of the other features they have, of course, within Google, of course, YouTube. I think most everybody knows that YouTube is owned by Google. And that's a great place to go and learn. I know it's not perfect. That's okay. People to say, oh, it's bad, and they do ban people, and there's times they'll throw somebody off that I don't think they should do it. But I get it. This is their platform. But I just find so much good that comes from YouTube because I love learning. And I love learning how to do certain things. And I find there's such a wonderful opportunity there at what many of us like to call the University of YouTube to learn all kinds of new things. So I would encourage you to look at that. Google News is good. I find it's good to see that for certain perspectives that are available. You can see what's going on and stay up to it. But I find also put a throttle on that news gathering of what you're doing and what you're reading. Sometimes reading such negative news can pull you down. So use it very carefully. Don't do it a lot. One that I've fallen in love with is Google Photos because I can take pictures here, for instance, on my Note 20, or not Note 20, this is my S22, my Note 22, or on my iPhone, and I can upload those quickly to Photos. Matter of fact, I've even got a setting right now so that every time I take a photo, it eventually uploads that to Photos. So I've got a record of it. That's really nice. When you start using the camera feature for more of organization of your life, it works very well. So if you haven't looked into Google Photos, I would encourage you to do that. And also there's Translate. Now I love Translate. I find that Translate works really, really well. And matter of fact, let me pull this up here for you and get over here to the next slide, and we'll see what is available as we go through this to let you see what's there, because I am using Translate, and I know you could use Translate as well in many different ways. It's real simple. If you haven't used it yet, it'd be real good. Like, for instance, if I want to put in here, let's say I've got Russian and Spanish in there, the two languages I'm working on right now. If I want to put in good morning, well, over in Russian, that's Dobre Utro. And you can see that's spelled out there. And if I go, well, how do you pronounce that? You can click on this.
Dobre Utro.
Dobre Utro.
Dobre Utro.
There it is. So I've got that. And if I want to do it in Spanish over here, it is
Buenos días.
Of course, buenos dias. So we can do that. Now you might think, okay, that's no big deal. Well, it is a big deal when you're somewhere working with someone who doesn't speak your language and you need to connect with them. Using this is a great way to make real strides in communication. Now, you notice I didn't say it's completely fluent and 100% perfect. No. Welcome to planet Earth. Things aren't like that. Even when we talk back and forth, it's not 100% perfect. Hey, I make a whole lot of mistakes. And I find that what you want to do, though, is use this as a tool to help you learn. I'm learning Spanish and Russian, working on both of those right now. And I want to continue to help myself learn by using Google Translate. It's really good to go there when I think, okay, how do I do this? Or how do you say this there? Google Translate, I find, works really, really well. Another tool that they have is Google Forms. And Google Forms we use a lot at the Video Rockstars that I do with my partner, Gina. Gina and I, we work on that and use forms often to get ideas and get feedback from people. Hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? Or let's get your opinions on this kind of thing. The forms are particularly good for that. Also good for collecting information. Like, for instance, today we just got one from a person that's going to be doing our Video Rockstars tomorrow, and we're getting feedback and the description, the introduction, those kind of things are really, really handy. By the way, speaking of that, I get to interview Winston Churchill tomorrow. That's right. Well, Randy Otto, who plays Winston Churchill and does that brilliantly, showing that how to do that. So I'm looking forward to that. But anyway, you can use these forms for a lot of different things, a lot of capabilities. And there's one other tool here I want to share with you on the screen here that is you might not be familiar with, called Google Jamboard. I'm curious, if you have used Google Jamboard, let us know. Leave a note over there just in the comments. Put in a yes, even if you're catching this on a recording. If you use Google Jamboard, I'd be interested in a yes or a no. And if you've had any experience, let us know on that. Notice what it does. It can put these couple that I put in here. I'm going to click on one here and open it up so you can just see what I've done. This is just in practicing right here. This is a brand spanking new frame, and that's what they call them, frames, that's there. I can take care of that, although that one is actually not true anymore because it is not brand spanking new. It's been around for a while. Things to do this week, and you can see the tasks that I'm engaged in during the week. Yes, very active there. But obviously you can bring in pictures. These are pictures of just off our balcony. And Mr. Moon over there on the left, we put that in there. And notice you can put in different comments. This is nice, though, that you can share this with others. You can put in a text or a note on here are some features that we need to work on, some things that we find that are really, really important, and find that it's going to work really, really well for you. So I think Jamboard has some really, really good features. Also, I think you can put in up to, I don't remember how many pages you can put in there, but you see I put another one in here. Here's a picture off our balcony, the other direction. I'm looking at the clouds, and it was a beautiful reflection on the lake that night. I love the dusk time of day when it's there. So this is a nice little sticky do that I can put here. You can leave these on here. So you could work with a team on this and then leave those notes for different people to work with, let them see how it works and what can be done on that. And I think it's got some really, really nice features for you. And it's something that you'll want to take a look and see how Jamboard could work with what you're doing. And we got a comment here from Juan. Let's see, Juan, want to bring that in. There we are. Got it on there. I speak Spanish, but find translate with words I am unfamiliar with. In Russia 3 summers ago, my Google Translate was extremely helpful. Well, Juan, thank you very much for that. Appreciate your input on that. I found, by the way, the same thing in Russia and down in Mexico. I had a problem down in, Juan, you might be able to relate to this. We were down in a hotel in Mexico. Excuse me, I got something in my throat here, in Mexico, and we had a problem with Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi wasn't working quite the way I wanted to. I called the front desk. Now, front desk, they usually have people who speak English and Spanish in most of the more upscale hotels, and they sent up their technician. The technician did not speak English very much. Well, hey, we're in Mexico. Why should he? Why should he be required to do that? But I found that it was amazing how I could speak in English into my Google Translate, and then it would play back in Spanish for him to hear, and it was amazing. He was able to hear. We were able to get the problem fixed, and that's really, really nice. So it is really good, and I think as we find Google Translate extremely helpful, Juan, as you say, yeah, that's real important there, and I would encourage everyone, get to know that and work with it. And here, our Facebook user, yeah, this is the one I brought in before. I use voice typing as much as possible. Absolutely. It's just a great little tool that gives us the ability to do a lot. So Google has some very, very nice features with all of these things. And I find that it's just a real benefit to see that. I mentioned here a couple others. There's Keep, which is one I have heard about, but I haven't used it. If you've had some experience with Google Keep, let us know what you think. Let us know what it is. I have not really even got in there and played around with it, so I want to learn what it is. But I've heard others talking about it, just saying, hey, they like Keep. They think it's a real good thing. And then, of course, there's Jamboard. You'll see in the upper right corner. Google Earth we've seen before. You can see what it looks like. I think that is really nice. You say, hey, what does it look like over there in that place or this address? And you can kind of zoom in on it. And they've had to deal with some privacy issues. I get it. But this is the technology that exists. I'm glad that Google is saying, hey, it's out there and people can use it for some really important tasks, for selecting. Sometimes we'll select it when we're traveling somewhere. We know that we're going to be at, say, this hotel in a city where we haven't been in a while or have not been before. What is nearby in that hotel for restaurants or for other services or grocery store? Sometimes we might get a few groceries if we're going to be there for an extended period of time, and we can see what's available. I think Google Earth really helps with that. And then one I want to leave you with here is one of my favorites. It's the second one up from the bottom there on the left, podcasts. I've used a number of different podcast players, and there's some really good ones out there. I really like Google Podcasts because I can put my podcast in there. I get a chance to see it, easy to use. I can program it just by clicking on the little plus sign and the green. And it gives me the ability to have a queue of several different podcasts. I often listen to the podcast when I'm in the kitchen, when I'm making breakfast or making lunch and eating it. I'll have several different podcasts that are there. And I found that has been so helpful. Rather than listening to the current news, podcasts are so much better. And yeah, I'll go on the record saying that. And I'm a journalist. Hey, I worked in radio. I read the news in different stations as I was growing up. But so often the news, I don't know what it's like for you, but here in Orlando, you turn on the morning news and it's this bad thing happened over on that side of town last night, and now we've got so-and-so to tell you about it. Yeah, it was really bad because bad thing happened. Okay, I get it. And there was a bad, but what can I do about that? And what good is that going to do for me to know about it and all that? Or terrible things happening over on the other side of the world. Or this bad thing, the knuckleheads in Washington did this or that. Knuckleheads do that in Washington. But, you need to know a little bit. I'm not saying you put your head in the sand, but I'm finding I can use that time that's really precious when I want to listen to something. I can listen to a podcast much faster. I don't have to listen to someone talk like this at this speed when I need to hurry and get a lot done. I can turn up the speed so that I hear it more like this. I can still understand what's being said, but it's a little bit faster. You get the idea? By adjusting that speed, we do that. And also, we learn it faster. We retain it more. Psychologists, people who know a whole lot more about this than I do, say we can retain it more because your brain has to kind of tune in, has to kind of lean in there to listen to it when it's going a little bit faster. So I would recommend, that Google Podcast is a good thing that you want to look into and check out. So Google has a whole lot of good things there for you. And I think it's something you can take a look at even more that's there. And please share this with us here as we go through, because we're looking at how we can always get better. That's the one thing that I love about Dental Nachos and working here with Paul, as well as the team from Mrs. Nachos, Mary Goodman, who is out there also working with it. And Mary, hope you're doing well, saying hello to you. And the rest of the team, it's just exciting to see a learning environment where we're constantly wanting to learn more. We have thirsty minds and we want to learn. I would encourage you to have that thirsty mind as well. Stay with that and get to know more of these tools, how they can help you. And if you've got a question where I can help, by all means, let me know. I'm here to help you. And one of the ways that we help out, Paul asked me to do this, is to talk about ways where I have my 20 with Terry. If I can help you do some coaching, there's no charge for that. 20 minutes with me. We take the first 10 minutes and you talk about what issues you're going through from a marketing point of view, from video, doing a lot with video, helping on that. And then I take 10 minutes to give you some free advice that can be very useful. I can give you some ideas that could help you. And then it's up to you whether you want to implement those or not. If it's appropriate, great, we can do it. And if not, no problem at all. But you can just bounce over there, 20 with Terry, or I know you got your cell phone with you. There's the QR code that you can use, and it gives you the ability to snap that, and it'll take you right over there where you fill out an application. Not everyone is qualified. I'm not qualified to answer all questions, so you fill that out, and then we find out if there's a good match. I mean, for instance, if you ask me about open heart surgery, no, that's not my area. You don't want me doing that. Dentistry, not my area. I am not a dentist. My dental knowledge stops after I say, it's a good idea to brush your teeth and to floss your teeth. And my third one is, real good idea to see your dentist regularly. I hear they say it's good a couple times a year. See your hygienist and those wonderful people that keep your mouth clean. I'm doing that myself, and I've got a really good dentist here in Orlando who does a great job, and the hygienist I work with is just fabulous. And so it's a good thing to do that. But if I can help you on these other things, we'll be glad to do that. So in closing, I would recommend that you look even deeper into the tools that are available with Google. Yes, I understand Google is free, but it's not free because you are the product. They're collecting data and they're collecting information from you. I get it. So behave accordingly. If I go out there and I type in, say, new Chevy, and I'm looking for a new Chevy, then I start getting all these ads. Well, that's the way it works. And by the way, if I am looking for a new car, a new Chevy, well, then that would be good. I'm not, by the way. But you could put that in there. You could take a look at it, and I think that's good. But just behave accordingly. But use those tools. They can help you to achieve your goals even more. Well, hey, I am glad that you can join me here today. I'm Terry Brock, and I'll look forward to seeing you next week at 2 o'clock Eastern Time here on the Dental Nachos Facebook as we have yet another time of Talking Tech Tips with Terry, Tuesday at 2. I'll look forward to seeing you then.